Alright, you had that. It's his endeavor, which is good. Him being a doctor, though. What's that?
You had 3 good races. Oh, they got some.
When heat 1 gets out, heat 2 steps up to the block, heat 3 goes to the chairs behind the block, and that's the way we rotate the entire meet, okay? Event 1, 5-minute break. Second event, 10-minute break. Third event, 5-minute break, and so on, okay? Around and around and around we go, all right? So get out, come this way, talk to your coach, but be ready to go for your next event, okay? So let's go ahead and have everybody who's in the first event come down and get heated up.
Let's go ahead and fire it up. Good morning and welcome back to the 2020 Parkway IMX Swim Meet. We are at Parkway North High School for day number 2 here of this meet in early October. My name is Matt Judkins. I'll bring you the action here this morning, this afternoon, and tomorrow. We had a great session to start off last night, 2 great sessions to start off last night. You saw all the pictures, courtesy of Kevin Girth. He's our producer for this one. So we want to thank him for all of his work, bringing you these pictures, allowing you to see what we're bringing to you right here on the Parkway YouTube channel. The swimmers are just about set to go. We'll start off today with the 200-yard IM. There will be 4 heats in this event. For those of you who are tuning in for the first time, we will number the lanes 1 through 6, top to bottom of your screen. So lane 1 will be at the top of your screen, the far side, and lane 6 will be nearest to where we are giving you the camera vantage point. So it looks like we'll have a couple of late entries now. So this will be a combined heats of 1 and 2. I'm not really sure because I don't know all of these swimmers, but there's a combination here that we had initially 2 and 4, so 3 and 4. So somebody has dropped out. Step back once again, so my apologies. I did not get the updated heat sheet. I believe that is Elliot Bland, though, and lane number 3. He'll be the first one into the pool. We'll stretch this out. We'll get the names to you in just a few moments. This is, again, the 200-yard IM. It will go 50 yards of butterfly, 50 yards of backstroke, 50 yards of breaststroke, and then 50 yards of freestyle. That is a down and back, a full lap of the pool for each of those strokes. Is young lady in lane number 2 quickly pulling out the lead. Claire Luna, one of the swimmers, first one to the wall there, touching there in lane number 2. They'll go back the other way. Now into the backstroke. A lot of times you will see that swimmers who are strong in the butterfly, also strong in the backstrokes, more power strokes. They take a lot of technique, especially the longer distances. Pure technique stroke when it comes to the breaststroke, which will be the third stroke in this set, and then, of course, the freestyle, which most of you all be very familiar with. You start to learn that from the very beginning when you take swim lessons as a youngster or as an adult, depending on at what point in your life you figured out and learn how to swim. Top of the water now. First one to the wall will touch. She'll go back the other way. 1:18.20, good split there. Again, not really sure who each of the folks are in each lane. I did not get an updated heat sheet. That is Elliot Bland, though, in lane number 3 now, into the breaststroke. Half pull now. He closes the gap slightly, but they're both showing their technique in this stroke. As I stated, maybe the most technical of all 4 strokes. You've got to be spot on with this one in order to be fast. And that takes the athleticism to get you the speed. These 2 front runners now approaching halfway back on this third 50-yard stroke. And then it'll all come down to the freestyle, how quickly they can get back in. I believe that's Margaret Mendoza up in lane number 1. Now they'll go back the other way. Just about a half a body length differential. Bland came in with a preliminary time of 3:05. Right now he is on pace to beat that considerably. First to wall, now they'll go the other way. Going to come right down to it at the end. Both of these young swimmers definitely going to drop time in this first event. Quickest time coming in was 3:05 with Bland. Both swimmers to the wall. First one there, she'll out-touch Elliott. Elliott coming into 2:47.16, 2:46.92. Fastest time in this first heat. So a very, very good swim there. Look at Bland, really one of the swimmers who was vying for that zones time last year. Updated time standards came out yesterday. They'll shortly be posted on the Parkway website if they have not been yet. But in that 200-yard IM, 4 and 11-year-old, that time solidly in the B time for Elliot Bland. Now we are going to move forward to what will be measured as heat number 3, or labeled as heat number 3. Provided all swimmers are in on this one, we'll read them off in just a moment. So, it'll be Claire Ridings out of lane number 1, Alyssa Weisenberg, Anna Abig, Eleanor Green, and Vienna Schindler, wrapped up by Danny Hume. Schindler and Humes both swam last night in the first session. I believe Green did as well. So unlike a lot of swim meets where you see where they do the flyovers, where they go from one to the other, they now are taking a break between each event, allowing swimmers to clear the pool. Best way to continue that social distancing, keep everybody safe and healthy. We want to remind all of our viewers here today, send me a quick note, send me a text. My name is Matt Judkins. You can send me a text at 314-369-3289. Once again, 314-369-3289. If you send me a text, send me your name, send me your child's name. Let me know a thing or two about your son or daughter, and we'll mention it right here on the air when we get the opportunity. Had a number of people text in last night. Some people wrote in as well through the chat box on the YouTube channel. Those messages can get passed along to me as well, but send us a note. Let us know about your child, and we'll mention those little bits of information. We want to know things like, where did they go to school? What's their favorite stroke? Who their coach is? What group they swim in? Maybe an interesting point or two, like my son likes to dance, or my daughter participates in school plays, or she plays basketball. All those different things are great items for us to share to get to know our swimmers here on this Parkway Club team a little bit more. Got just a little bit of a hold up here, so we get set to go. We talked a little bit about some of those tidbits. Of course, we mentioned a few of the swimmers here just a moment ago. Some of them having been here last night. Danny Hume, her mom and dad, Dan and Jill, were tuning in. She goes to Selvage Middle School. She's in 6th grade, and she swims with Coach Chris in AGS, loves the freestyle, also participates in volleyball, loves to horseback ride, and of course, as all youngsters do in this day and age, loves TikTok. So we got a lot of those videos floating around our house, that is for sure. And we've got Claire Ridings in lane 1. She's one of the 3 riding sisters that participate on the Parkway Club, along with her sisters Lucy and Jenna. So, family affair for the Ridings family. Looks like we're just about done. The officials got it all sorted out. Of course, we've got Mike Favazza, head official here, as he was last night. And we're set to go. That whistle means swimmers be prepared, and we're just about underway here. This will be heat number 3. Even though it's the second event of the day, we had to combine heat 1 and 2 in the first event. And they're off. Remember now, in this one, the sequence of strokes: butterfly, backstroke, breaststroke, and freestyle. Middle of the pool, strong swim for Abig as she's in lane number 3. Also right next to her, Eleanor Green. There are a couple of 13-year-olds, a couple of 12-year-olds in lanes 5 and 6 in Schindler and Hume, and a couple of 14-year-olds in Weisenberg and Ridings in lanes 2 and 1, respectively. It'll be Weisenberg first to the wall on the butterfly, very strong, but quickly off the wall, and a nice pull out for Schindler in lane number 5. Also Green in lane number 4 with a nice pull out. Everybody tightening up here as they head towards the wall to touch at 75 yards. These swimmers at this age, most of them by this point that swim the IM, have perfected the flip turn on the backstroke. But the 3 in lanes 2, 3, and 4 now, neck and neck as the backstroke comes to the wall. Let's see who'll be the first one to touch here. It was Weisenberg in the first 50. And this time around, lane number 4, it's Green, followed by Weisenberg. Then Abig, now into the breaststroke. We talked about this a couple of moments ago. This is the stroke that requires a lot of technical skills. And you need that proper technique in order to gain the speed, and then you allow your athleticism to also chip in to be a difference maker when you do the breaststroke. Right now, though, it's Abig and Green seeming to separate themselves a little bit. First 2 strokes, butterfly and backstroke, seem to be a bit more of the power stroke, and so some of the stronger swimmers take leads in that. But when it comes to the breaststroke, if you're not technical enough, you can quickly lag off. Going the other way now, it was Abig, then Green, then Weisenberg. Closing the gap slightly is Schindler, followed by Hume and Ridings. Back the other way into the freestyle. As we talked about last night, when you get to this 200-yard IM, this can be a grueling race, especially for these youngsters. And this is one where you've got to have a little energy left. You've got to have a little gas in the tank, if you will. Coming right down to it at the end right now, it's Abig and Green battling for first place in the heat. They are neck and neck, about a half a stroke apart. Looks like it's going to be Abig at the wall. She's going to come in at 2:35.55, followed by 2:35.98, 2:39.59 for Weisenberg, followed by Schindler, Hume, and then Riding. So very good swim all the way around for these young ladies. All of them coming in. It looks like most of them are going to drop time across the board. So congratulations. That's really what this first meet, what a lot of these swimmers are looking to do. Just drop some time and see how they come out. Most of them having not competed, at least in a Parkway meet, since way back in early March or late February. Now we'll go into heat number 4, back to the 200-yard IM. We'll have Ava McLeod, Serena Huang, Tanner Hilsman, Ryan Lipsky, Emma Eisworth, and Genevieve Hahn. Huang, Hilsman, Lipsky, and Hahn all competed last night. They're right back at it again. On top, it'll be Hilsman really quick on the butterfly. We've watched this young man grow over the years, and he's got an older brother that swims in the Parkway program. His brother Riley, one of the top breaststroke high school students in the state of Missouri. He's a sophomore right here at Parkway North, swims for the home team here. And right now, Tanner showing his quality as he stretches out a little bit of a lead into the wall in a very fast 28.54 in the 50 butterfly, followed closely by Lipsky, and then right behind them, Huang. Very close. Eisworth and Hahn and McLeod all rounding out the 6, all with very fast times. Young Tanner, though, in lane 3 continues to push the envelope. He's lengthening his lead slightly. Everybody cheering each other on, though. A lot of the Parkway swimmers up on the sides of the pool, as you see in your pictures, cheering their fellow teammates on. We know that Hillsman is very good at the breaststroke as well. He'll hit the wall, go back the other way. 106.24 is the split. 110.05, both very fast for he and Lipsky. Followed quickly then by Huang and Eisworth, Han, and McLeod once again. Now they're back the other way with the breaststroke. Sometimes a swimmer who is very strong in the first two strokes may not be as strong in this one, but not the case here with our two in the lead. Hillsman and Lipsky. Tanner Hillsman, just 12 years old. He'll turn 13 in a couple of weeks, and I mentioned his brother, his mother and father, Jeremy and Julia, very involved with the program. And of course, his grandfather, Ron, many of you might know him. He has been around the program since these two boys were young and constantly rooting for the team, doing what he can to promote the program. Back the other way after a 147.76 split for Hillsman, trying to beat 220.28. He'll be right on that time. If he can get there, he should be well ahead of it, though. Clock winding out. He's halfway home. Lipsky right behind him. We'll finish 1 and 2 in this heat. Tanner Hillsman, 2:19.08. So a drop of over a second for that young man. Lipsky coming in, 2:26.42. Now we've got 3 to the wall here on the breaststroke. Lanes 1, 2, and 5. And coming in lane 2, it'll be Huang, followed by McLeod and Eisworth, and wrapped up by Han. All very fast times. Looks like everyone, just about everyone, dropping time there. Just about, with the exception of Lipsky, who was right on his time, less than a second off. And that's how we'll round things out here as we wrap up number 1 here, event number 1 in this 2020 Parkway IMX swim meet. And that was a AA time for Tanner Hillsman, so congratulations to that young man. Continues to put up big scores last night and this morning. We'll take a quick warm down, and as they do that, we're going to go to a break. We're going to take a break here for just a few moments. When we come back on the other side of this one, we'll have event number 2. It'll be the 100-yard freestyle. 3 heats of that. Until then, so long. Welcome back to the 2020 Parkway IMX swim meet. We are in session number 3, the morning session here on Saturday, so it's actually session number 1 of this day. We're going into event number 14 of the meet, the second one for today, and this will be the 100-yard freestyle. We will have 3 heats in this one. We get set to go once again. Got a little bit of a delay. Swimmers starting to make their way back around to the back of the blocks. Of course, they, due to COVID and for health reasons, all swimmers must move counterclockwise around the pool. They sit in the grandstand, which is where your vantage point in those cameras is coming from. So they go to the right side of the pool, around the shallow end to the far side where the windows are at. You see the scoreboard there at the top of your screen. And back around to the starting blocks. And so very well thought out. We want to thank Blair Porter for all his work marshaling this event, getting it set up and making sure it runs smoothly. There will be 5 swimmers scheduled in this first heat: Lundry, Calamus, Kreitz, Gartner, and Glasgow. Calamus and Gartner both swam last night. This is a heat made up of all 13-year-olds. So we shall see how they perform here in just a moment. Got a nice note here during the break from one of our Parkway parents, Emma Eisworth's mother. She wanted to give a shout out. She said Emma loves traveling. She loves TikTok. She plays softball. And of course, her brother is an up and coming swimmer for Parkway. At some point, he will be here. He's in the swim school right now. And she attends Remington Traditional. She's in 8th grade. And she is on the AGS team with Coach Chris. Looks like we have our first scratch here. That'll be Kreitz in lane 3. So it'll be Lundry, Calamus, Gartner, and Glasgow. This is the 100-yard freestyle, down and back, 4 lengths of the pool, 2 full laps for these 13-year-olds. First one to the wall there in lane number 2 is Calamus. She was very fast last night in a couple of her events. She has about a half a body, maybe a full body length ahead of the other 3 ladies in the pool as we come in to the last 10 yards or so towards the wall. She has a nice flip turn, good pull out, gets underneath the flag, back out to the middle of the pool, continues to maintain that lead. But all 4 of these young ladies with nice, clean flip turns, good pull outs as they push their way towards the 75-yard mark. First one to the wall there, once again, is Calamus. She is looking to beat her previous time of 1:20.65. She's going to shatter that by 10 seconds or more. 1:09.97. Big improvement for her of almost 11 seconds. Second in the heat right here in lane number 4, 1:17.87. Nice improvement for Gartner. Followed up right behind her, 1:20.97 for Lundry, and then Glasgow, 1:21. So all these young ladies improved on their time, which is exactly what these swimmers are looking to do. For those of you who are new to swimming, new to the program, time in and time out, that's what the swimmers want to do. They want to improve on their previous best time. It's not really about the race and the heat, although it's always fun to actually come out on top in those heats, but it's really about your time. This is heat number 2. It'll be Hume, Wong, Hill, Bland, Claire Ridings, and Kevin Wong. So Lindsay and Kevin both in this one. We saw them compete against each other last night a number of times. First one quickly out, Ethan Hill. He's a 12-year-old. He's in lane number 3. Again, 4 lengths of the pool, down and back, 2 full laps. In your traditional freestyle. First 2 to the wall that time were Hill and Hume. Pretty even in the middle of the pool are Lindsay Wong, Claire Ridings, Elliot Bland, and Kevin Wong. Off the wall, Ethan Hill trying to beat 1:12.64. So he goes down the other way. This heat made up of 2 11-year-olds, 2 12-year-olds, a 13 and a 14-year-old. First to the wall will be Hill, followed quickly in lane number 1 by Hume. And Hume, the 2 Wongs, and Hill all competed last night as well. This thing's starting to tighten up here a little bit. Lane number 3 and lane number 1, it's Hume and Hill. Who's going to get to the wall first? We're inside the flags. They're just within a touch of each other. Looks like it'll be Hill to the wall first. He comes in at 108.25, 108.30. Excuse me, 38 as well. So 2 really good swims for both of those youngsters. A couple of times did not quite register properly on there. 109.70 for Bland. All these swimmers dropping nicely in their respective events. Now we go to the third and final heat. This time it'll be Shank up at the top. Of course, his father, one of the officials as well. Riza, Sylvester, Asinger, Jenna Ridings, and Alyssa Weisenberg down here in lane number 6. Now they go to the middle of the pool, quickly out on top. Andy Asinger, he'll be in lane number 4. You see him on top of the water, followed closely by lane number 2 with Riza and Ridings in lane number 5. Off the wall nicely, all swimmers showing their power, showing their technique and their speed here. This is a speed event, the 100 freestyle, a pure speed event. You need good technique though, and you need to be able to showcase that. You can pace yourself slightly, so you got a little left at the end. 27.69 for Asinger. Good split for him. He's looking to beat a time of 102.70. Sylvester came in at the top time in this one in lane 3 at 1 minute. 0.45. It's going to be Asinger, followed quickly by Riza. Ridings is a 12-year-old, 13-year-olds in lanes 1 through 3, and 14-year-olds in 4 and 6. Quickly to the wall, first one in, 57.47 for Asinger. Really nice swim for him. Everybody looking strong in this one. 58.53, excuse me, in lane number 2 for Risa. So very good swim for her. Now we're going to have a quick 10-minute break. We hope to have the opportunity to visit with head coach John David Williford, see if he'll come and join us here, talk a little bit about the program, the direction of the program, where it's been since he's been here for the last several years, and where he hopes it goes here in the upcoming years. My family, we've been part of this program for 5 years now. We're in our 5th season with my 2 children, participating in the blue team with Coach Kean Quigley, and on the national team with Coach John David, my son. So we have a good idea of all the ins and outs. We'll tally up some of those times too. We'll look at those new standards for all of the youngsters. But what a fast time! And the first one coming in at 57.47, just off of the A time for Asinger. So he'll look to get back to there. And we will have that opportunity to get with Coach John David Williford. So stay tuned with us here. You'll find out a little bit more about the program. Coach, welcome. Thanks for joining us. A lot of them have not gotten to the level yet where you coach at the national level, but I know you got your eyes on a couple of prizes down there. Can't wait to get your claws sunk into them for some early morning practices. But nonetheless, wanted to have you on today, talk a little bit about the Parkway program, about your time here, and where you saw the program when you came in just a few short years ago to where it's at now with the amount of swimmers that the program's got, and then kind of where you see it going. So kind of a little timeline, if you will, if you don't mind. Again, where it started, where we're at, and where we're going.
So we started, I guess, this is my 6th year now. So when I first came in, Coach Kean was a senior in high school, and I had one senior in high school, boy, and a few girls, I believe, as seniors in high school. So that's how we started off the program. That was it. And then I had a couple juniors, and then mainly they were all freshmen. And so the freshman group that just graduated 2 years ago, that was my first freshman group coming through with Noah Schuerman, Tyler Lewis, Alex Gelman, and a few others in that group. And that was I think a 13 senior class. So that was our first big group of swimmers to come through. Where we started off, my first, I guess, sectionals experience, we were 19th on the boys' side, and I believe maybe 12th or something on the girls' side. So it was going to a meet, so what our sectionals meet is, for some of you who don't know, it's our regional championships. So we race against the states of Missouri, Oklahoma, Arkansas, part of Illinois, Kansas, and we all come together. Usually it's at University of Missouri or it's in Jinx, Oklahoma. So that's kind of how we measure our senior group's level of success, is when we all come to that meet. And then it took us a couple years, but now we've been in top 10 since, and in the past 2 years we've actually been top 5 on both sides, with the guys winning overall the short course and long course meet. So going from, I guess, a 19th place start out to then winning it on the guys side, it was definitely a big change and a great, seeing that, progression and going from, you're only a top 19th team, and now we got swimmers committed to Texas and TCU and many other Division I schools and programs. So, where we're going from here, I think the pool survey and, what Brian DeBosch is getting going and trying to get with the district is, keep progressing. There is no St. Louis County 50-meter competition pool. We love all our Parkway high schools, but obviously hosting a big swim meet and then even giving more opportunity for not just Parkway swimmers, but for the community for, swim lessons, water polo usage, even bigger high school invites. We don't have that in Parkway, and we don't really have that too much in St. Louis. There are a few bigger pools, but there's not ever one big one that we host the state championship. It always goes to St. Charles County. Progression is obviously, we want to keep going the way we've been going with our swimmers now, getting them up and getting Division I schools noticing us. And then, just keep building the base of giving more swimmers the opportunity to, come in and experience the sport. We do have some exciting things working out with some of the national groups and reaching out to the community. I've been in talks with some local YMCAs in the more impoverished areas, and I think we're going to start up a kind of a reach out program with them, and get our national group swimmers to go kind of give back and get them to experience the stuff that they take advantage and may have not ever experienced, and show I think a better worldly view. And when we talk about swimming, we talk about swim lessons, the biggest community affected and who has tragedies is the diverse, and it's the impoverished, and it's minorities, and it's sad. It really is. But that's, I guess, my overall goal now is keep progressing us as a team, keep progressing us into the future of we've been top 5 sectionals. Now I want to be top 5 at juniors. I want to go to juniors and take a big group and be a top 5 team. And it really doesn't take a whole lot of swimmers. It just takes top quality. If you could take top quality 4 to 8 girls or guys to a juniors meet and you have good relays, then you will score and you will do well. So I think we have a lot of promise on the girls' side. South High School this next year has a very strong team. And then on the guys' side, as well, I've talked about, we have a very strong guys program coming up, even with the younger kids. So, watching these past 2 meets, watching beforehand, the previous meet, now watching this, and, exciting. Yesterday in the 50 freestyle, everyone dropped time in the 50, not one person added. So, you're seeing the progression, and it's really fun to get back and finally, compete again.
So you talk a little bit about competing. This is the first meet of the year. Typically we've had, as a team, about 4 or 5 meets under our belt, everybody gearing towards things like A-champs, or for the older kids, a fall sectional, and then into the wintertime, all the way building up to the late winter, early spring for BB champs. What are some of the things you're seeing or you're hearing about on the horizon in terms of meets against other teams, and when we might expect, at least on a smaller scale, to be able to compete against some other programs?
So actually, our meet we're hosting November 20th. We're going to kind of simulate it similar to an A-champs. We are going to ask for some qualification times. I think BB times for 12 and unders, at least have a minimum of an A time for 13 over swimmers. But, that swim meet, we have some other teams invited: Springfield Aquatics, Seahawks, Saluki, and Edwardsville. Some smaller teams that aren't going to really overdo our numbers in the meet, but that will be like our simulation of A-champs, and get them to race other kids, which we haven't had a chance to do. Information, we just got told by Kirkwood this past week that yes, you guys can have the meet and be put on the schedule. So we're putting that all together and how we're going to run it, and that'll be our first one. And then December will be our next, younger kid meet. We'll probably try to invite a few other teams as well, just younger kids, more focus. And then my meet director actually said to me, usually we only run 3 meets and we're running 4 the first semester, but, we've got to take care of our Parkway swimmers. And then moving forward, I'm not sure exactly, but I think they'll try to put something together for our LSC championship. I'm not sure how that's going to look, but I think by end of February, March, we'll see more teams coming together competing and, not just our inner squad. But I am thankful we can do this,
Nice to see the kids get out and compete. Great visuals again. We want to thank Kevin Girth for bringing the pictures to everyone. So kudos to him. He's done a phenomenal job. We've mentioned that on the air. It was the same way a couple of weeks ago when you had the older swimmers and some of the youngest swimmers also. So thank you to him. But we want to thank head coach John David Williford for joining us here today. He did mention a meet coming up. That will be November 20th, 21st, and 22nd. It'll be held at Kirkwood. More information will be coming out in the upcoming weeks. He talked about qualifying times. If you want to find out, parents, more about qualifying times, if you're newer to the program, check with your coach. They'll be able to fill you in. And, of course, the newest time standards just released yesterday. We've been talking about those. Those will be posted on the Parkway website here shortly. So be sure to stay tuned for that. But we're going to get back to live action here once again. You hear Marshal Blair Porter calling things out. He's getting the swimmers ready. This will be event number 3 of the morning, event number 15 overall. It'll be the 100-yard backstroke. And again, once again, 3 heats in this one. And in the first heat, we will have 4 swimmers. It'll be Gartner, Klein, Kreitz, and Glasgow. Looks like we might have a scratch here in this one as well. That'll be Kreitz. Missed the event earlier, so we'll just have 3 swimmers in this one coming out of lanes 2, 3, and 5. Again, this will be the backstroke, 100 yards. It'll be 2 full laps of the pool, 4 lengths. You'll see some of these youngsters do a flip turn on the backstroke. Some will touch the wall and push back off. All different techniques. Again, got to always keep in mind the national level. These are the ones who are at that national level, the ones who are perfecting their techniques. They come to practice time and time again, just trying to get a little bit better. Moving on the times, we talked about it's on the times here this morning. We had some fast ones in that previous event, the 100-yard freestyle. Everybody dropping in that final heat, with the exception of one swimmer. First to the wall in this one will be Klein. She came in at 1:30.18, split there at 39.24. Very fast for her. She continues that. She'll be ahead of that time, and that's what these 13-year-olds will try to do each and every time out. She'll touch at 75. Just under a minute, so trying to get back in about 30 seconds. She should be able to beat that. Well ahead of her time. Second one to the wall on the far side is Gartner, and then it'll be Glasgow rounding things out. It'll be a nice little drop here. Again, Klein came in at 1:30.18. She's going to finish 1:21.33, so a significant drop for her. Right behind her in lane number 2. 1:30.19 for Gartner. And rounding things out in this one will be Caitlin Glasgow, the 13-year-old, 1:41.32. Nice drops for every single one of those swimmers, all 3 of them. You heard John David talk about it a moment ago. That's what you want to see from the swimmers, especially in this first meet. Are you dropping? Are you working? Are you focusing on your technique and your speed at the same time and dropping in those times? This one now will have a full pool. All 6 lanes will be filled. Top to bottom of your screen. Lane number 1 will be Luna, Abig, Green, Huang, Claire Ridings, and Kevin Huang here in lane number 6. Age ranges here 11 for Claire Luna, 12-year-old Serena Huang, a couple of 3 13-year-olds, and then Claire Ridings, the 14-year-old in this one. As they stretch out, again, 4 lengths of the pool, 2 full laps. Lane number 4 is Serena Huang. Comes into this one
121.44. Fastest prelim time, 121.20 from Eleanor Green. She competed last night. Both of those young ladies did, along with Kevin Huang in lane number 6. Inside the flags, 3 swimmers leading the pack here on this one. Huang, Green, and Abig, all within a half a body length of each other. Followed then by Ridings, Luna, and Huang. First one to touch again. This is Serena Huang, just 12 years old, looking to best her time of 121.44. She's going to shatter that just now at 105, and she's going to shave close to 10 seconds off. She touches the wall at 112.10, so 9 seconds. For Green, those are the two. And then it'll be all rounded out by, second place was Abig. 9 seconds ahead. Ridings. Then Luna and Kevin Huang. You can see all the times there to the left side of your screen as we get set for heat number 3. Heat number 3. Top of your screen to the bottom, it'll be Hahn, Eisworth, Lipsky, Hilsman, Risa, and Weisenberg. We've seen a number of these this morning, including Hilsman and Lipsky. Off the back, long pull out that time for Tanner Hilsman. He seems to stretch it out a little bit more in lane number 4. Top time coming in, 1:13 flat for Ryan Lipsky. He's a 13-year-old. Tanner Hilsman, a 12-year-old, second at 1:13.25. Tanner with just a slight half an arm length lead right now as they approach the flags and the touch on the first 50. Both of them trying to beat that 1:13 mark. Hilsman will be the first one to the wall, 32.10, 32.55. Good splits for both of these young men. They're on track to shatter their time. Lane number 5 was third place in Risa, followed by followed by Eisworth, Weinsberg, and then Hahn. So here's Hilsman. Good push off the wall. Nice pull out. Staying underwater long enough to stretch his lead out. He's got a full body length now, halfway through the pool. They're down on this final 50. He's picking up speed as he approaches the wall. Inside the flag, he's going to shatter his time. Touches the wall at 105.54. Nearly 8 seconds. 5.5 seconds, followed in behind them by Risa in lane 4, or lane 5, excuse me, Hahn and Weisenberg. That's how we round things out here. So we are at another break, folks. We are between sets. We're between events here. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll have the 100-yard breaststroke. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll total up some of those times. We'll see how the young swimmers did against those time standards. We'll bring you that information back after these messages. Welcome back to Parkway North High School. I am being joined by Kevin Girth, our producer here, for this 2020 Parkway IMX swim meet. We double A time at 105.54, and then B times across the board for Hahn, Eisworth, Lipsky, and Risa. So congratulations to them. Everybody in that race dropping time as well. Weisenberg just off the B time at 118.52. And we'll get set now to move into the 100-yard breaststroke. Want to make a point of clarification, so we want to thank head coach John David Williford for bringing this to my attention. We mentioned on the backstroke a pull-out. He said the pull-out is more akin to being used with the breaststroke, and the underwater on the backstroke is a breakout. So we'll make that adjustment as we go on over the course of the next couple of days, calling those backstrokes. So thanks for that clarification. Always good to know the proper lingo and jargon as we bring you this great action. Well, we hope you've enjoyed it so far, and we want to thank all the folks who write in. You know, if there are issues and you're hearing issues with the audio, or if there's an issue with the picture, send us a quick note. We'll get it corrected. We are, of course, beholden to the internet, so it's not always 100% clear and accurate. Kreitz, of course, is scratched out of her races today. She was scheduled to be in lane 2. It'll be Lindsey Wong, Sadie Calamus, and Ethan Hill in this event. Hill in lane 5, Wong in 3, and Calamus in 4. Again, we are at the 100-yard breaststroke. They'll go down and back, 2 times, 2 full laps. All 3 swimmers, even as they go here, approaching the first touch of the wall. Breaststroke, maybe your most technical of strokes. You got to keep the head down. You got to have a strong pull out. Very important to keep as close to the water as you can when you come up. That allows you to continue with your speed and not slow you down. Come up too high out of the water, it almost creates a tidal wave effect which slows you down. Pulling ahead now a little bit is Calamus, 13-year-old. First one to touch at the wall, 46.24. Trying to beat her time of 147.43, and she right now is in excellent shape to do that. In fact, all 3 of these swimmers with those splits well ahead of their prelim time. Hill coming in at 206.09 and Wong 144.60. Big improvement though for Calamus. They all touch. She's got about 3 body length lead, followed by Hill, and then Lindsey Wong. Of course, Lindsey just an 11-year-old, Hill a 12-year-old, and Sadie is 13. She's going to come to the wall in great shape. She's going to drop significant time, 1:35.14 for that young lady. Big drop of over 12 seconds. Hill will be second to the wall, followed by Wong, 1:44.22. Big drop for him of 22 seconds, and then 1:48.76 for Lindsey. A little bit off of her time, so good swim for all 3 of those youngsters. We'll go in now to heat number 2. Top to bottom of your screen will be Glasgow, Weisenberg, Bland, Gartner, Schindler, and Lundy. Elliot Bland's 11 years old, a 12-year-old in there, and Schindler as well. A couple of 3 13-year-olds in Lundy, Gartner, Glasgow, and then Weisenberg, the 14-year-old in lane 2. Up out of the water quickly. Long pull out here down in lane number 5 for Schindler. She stretches it out, and that underwater for her is exceptional as she was able to pull ahead of the rest of the pack. She's to the wall first. She'll turn and come back for the second 25 yards. About a body length ahead of the rest of the pack. 4 swimmers almost all even across in lanes 2, 3, 4, and 6. With Glasgow down in up in lane 1, not far behind. To the wall once again. Good split now for Schindler. She's going to touch at 41.28, trying to beat 136.24 right now, well ahead of that time, and she continues to stretch out the lead, gaining speed as she goes. 60 yards into the race, approaching 75. She'll touch and come back home again, trying to beat 1:36.24. Fastest prelim time was Bland at 1:31.87.
followed quickly and closely by Gartner 133, Weisenberg 134. So those are your tops coming in. But right now we've got a lot of speed with Deanna Schindler, the 12-year-old, and she approaches the flag, going to be well ahead of her previous best time, more than 10 seconds in fact, 124.81 for her. And she comes in great shape. She's going to be followed closely by Gartner, 131.44, an improvement for her. Bland, 132.66, just off of his best time. 133.04 for Weisenberg, a nice drop of a second and a half for her. 142.42 for Lundry, just off her time, and Glasgow just a little bit off her time as well. So we will now enter heat number 3, the final heat for this one. It'll be Emmett Shank, lane number 1, Hoganson in 2, Andy Assinger in lane number 3, Samantha Sylvester in lane number 4, Jenna Ridings in 5, and Claire Ridings in 6. Quick off the blocks for all of these swimmers. For them, nice pullouts there at the bottom of the pool. Quickly to the front is Andy Assinger, the 14-year-old. He touches the wall first, a body length ahead of everyone else. Ages range in this one. Hoganson and Jenna Ridings at 12, 13 years old, Shank and Sylvester, and 14-year-olds, Assinger and Claire Ridings. All these swimmers competing. Assinger really stretching it out. Technique is excellent for him. Continues to build speed and power. And this one followed closely behind by Sylvester. Then Hoganson, Shank, Jenna Ridings, and Claire Ridings back the other way. Coach is shouting at it now, imploring their swimmers to go a little bit faster. Assinger getting a little cheering from his fellow teammates at the far end to the right. He touches the wall and goes back the other way. Next one down is Sylvester, followed by Shank and Hoganson and the Riding sisters. Assinger now coming into the wall. He's going to be well below his previous time, 111.42 for him. Nice swim for that young man. Sylvester coming in. She'll be second one to touch. Going to be just off her time at 120.28. Third place at 122.67 is Emmett Shank. 7-second improvement for him. Hoganson, 125.47, slightly off her time. Jenna Ridings at 129.69, a little bit off her time. And then Claire, 134.78, a little off her time. So great swim for all those youngsters. We'll look at those, see if anybody got any qualifying times, any standard cuts. But we'll take a break. Now we're going to go into a 10-minute break this time around. So be sure to take a break. Go grab a refreshment, grab a snack, come back, we'll watch the next event. Next one on the docket, the power stroke, the 100-yard butterfly, one of 3. Excuse me, there'll be 3, and there'll be one of 3 to start things off. We'll bring you that when we come back after this break.
Welcome back here to the 2020 Parkway IMX meet. We are at event number 5. It is the 100-yard butterfly. Top to bottom of your screen. It'll be Gartner, Kevin Wong, Glasgow, Klein, Hill, and Lindsey Wong. Ethan Hill pulls the early lead. This is the butterfly stroke. 4 lengths of the pool, 2 full laps as Hill will be the first one to touch. Followed closely by Lindsey Wong and Katie Klein. Also Kevin Wong in lane number 2. Gartner and Glasgow rounding it out. And we want to give a shout out to Kim Gartner. Nice comments from her. She chimed in on the message board along the YouTube channel. We've enjoyed bringing it. My name is Matt Judkins, and everything being produced and the pictures brought to you today by Kevin Girth. We've got kids in the program, so we know what it's like to not be able to see your kid when they swim, and we figured let's bring you the action as best we can. First one to the wall now. Lindsey Wong, she's pulled ahead of Hill just slightly. In fact, she continues to lengthen that lead. Kevin Wong, he's up in lane number 2. He's right in there with them, along with Klein, who's closed that gap. Then Gartner, and then Glasgow. Kevin Wong, though, continues to press the envelope. Looks like he and his sister, Lindsay, are going to be the first 2 to the wall. First one to touch, it'll be Kevin Wong, 127.87. No time for him. Lindsay at 127.99. Just an 11-year-old. Very powerful swim for her. Next one in after that, Ethan Hill, followed by Katie Klein, Gigi Gartner, and then Katie Glasgow will round things out. So good swim all the way around. All 6 of those swimmers came in without a preliminary time, establishing as best they can that 100-yard butterfly. Coming in, heat number 2 now. Top to bottom of your screen. Kreitz will scratch. She has not been here yet this morning. She would be in lane number 1. It'll be Anna Abig in lane 2. Eleanor Green in 3. Genevieve Hahn in lane 4. Claire Ridings in 5. And Margaret Mendoza in lane 6. Mendoza, just an 11-year-old. Hahn and Ridings, 14-year-olds. And Abig and Green, 13-year-olds. Typically in swimming, for those of you who are relatively new to the sport or always looking to pick up more information, the faster swimmers typically are in the middle 2 lanes, lane 3 and 4. You see that right off the bat with Green and Hahn quickly being the first 2 to touch the wall, followed by Abig in lane 2, Claire Ridings in 5, and Mendoza, the bottom of your screen, in lane 6. This will be 4 lengths of the pool, so this will be the halfway point when they touch the wall here. Hahn about a body length ahead in this one. Abig and Green, followed closely by Claire Ridings, and Margaret Mendoza, lane 6, will round out the docket. Back the other way now, halfway towards this 3rd length of the pool, and Hahn stretches it out just a little bit. She came in at 120.56, trying to best that time. Under 40 seconds in her split, so she's going to be right on that if she can maintain her speed. This is a power stroke, so you need to use all aspects of your body, upper body especially, torso, and then the strong leg kick is what really propels you into a nice, fast butterfly stroke. It'll be Genevieve Hahn, first one to the wall, 114.17, so nice drop for her. Right next to her, 117.84 is Green. She'll drop 2 seconds off her time, 122.99 for Abig. She'll drop significant time in the stroke. Claire Ridings at 129.29, also almost a 3-second, over a 3-second drop for her. And then Margaret Mendoza rounds things out as she comes in at 139 flat, a 12-second drop for her. So every swimmer in that event, they all drop time. Nice job for those young ladies coming in strong in that butterfly. One of the toughest strokes out there, just purely because of the strength it takes the body to push that one through and the technique. Okay, now here we are, heat number 3 of 3. It'll be Risa in lane 1, Lipsky in 2, Hulsman in 3, Serena Huang in lane 4, Emma Eisworth in 5, and Alyssa Weisenberg in lane 6. Remember now, you can text me 314-369
3289. That's my phone number. Text me right here. Let me know what your name is so that I can mention your child's name or your grandchild, your niece or nephew, whoever it might be. Here's Tanner Hulsman. He'll be the first one to the wall, as he has been all morning long. He is really having a strong meet. Kind of almost seems like he's been building up to compete. The young 12-year-old quickly off the wall on an excellent split of 28.82. Tanner came into this one at 104.58. Right now, well ahead of that, and he continues to get stronger. What a push off the wall that time, keeping low along the bottom of the pool, or top of the pool, excuse me. He's followed quickly right in there by Lipsky, then Huang. All back the other way at lane number 1. It's Riza, Eisworth, and Weisenberg in lanes 5 and 6. There's Tanner Hulsman coming in, 101.12. What a time for him as he shatters this time by nearly 3.5 seconds. Right behind him is Lipsky on a 5-second improvement down to 106.63. Third place in that heat. Excuse me. It was Huang who came in at 106.63. 108, but still a great improvement for Lipsky. Reset 114.27. She'll round out the docket. Fourth and fifth place at 113.54 and 113.48 were Eisworth and Weisenberg. So congratulations to all of those youngsters. Drops are nearly being even, except for Emma Weisenberg, but she was right on her time. So congratulations. They're going to take a quick warm up now, or warm down, I should say. And then we'll come back for the final event here of this morning session, this opening session. And then we'll have a 2-hour or so break before we come back here at 11:30. So we'll see all ferrets out as these youngsters will get those standard times as well. We're going to take a break. When we come back on the other side of this one, we'll have that last event. Until then, so long.
Back here at Parkway North High School, my name is Matt Judkins. Happy to bring you this morning's action here at the 2020 Parkway IMX swim meet. Of course, we want to thank Kevin Girth for bringing you the wonderful pictures and producing this live stream here on the Parkway YouTube channel. And we could not do any of this without the volunteers, Julia Hilsman, top scorekeeper and timekeeper, and the marshal, Blair Porter, as he continues to get the children ready and make sure that they are all staying safe and healthy, doing the social distancing. Ruth Price as well, organizing everything, getting the volunteers ready, and then all the parents and brothers and sisters, aunts and uncles that are doing timekeeper, and then of course our officials, headed by Favaza and Shank, who both have children in the Parkway program. Final event for this morning here, 200-yard freestyle. That'll be 8 lengths of the pool. This first one will have all 6 competitors. We've got 2 heats. It'll be Kalmus, Luna, Schindler, Claire Ridings, Kreitz, and Lundy. Kreitz scratched out of her early events. I'm not sure. We'll try and clarify whether or not that is her in lane 5. And it might be. She may have just felt like only swimming 1 today. That'll happen oftentimes in a swim event like this, especially when you're looking at individual times and points. Well, if that is Kreitz, she's the front runner right now in lane 5. Well ahead of everyone else. We did not get a change in the score sheet, so we're going to go with it. But she did scratch out of a couple events earlier. So Kreitz, first one into the wall, followed by lane number 3. That's Schindler. Lane 1, Kalmus. Luna, Ridings, and Lundy. Kreitz continues to lead here in lane number 5, but closing the gap slightly is Schindler in lane 3, and then right on their heels, lane 1 is Kalmus. First one to the wall, good split there of 112.30 or 112.73 for Kreitz, trying to beat 249.86. Right now, well ahead of that pace. All these swimmers ahead of their pace. Age ranges for these young ladies in this one: 11 years old for Claire Luna, 12 years old for Vienna Schindler in lane 3, 13 for Kalmus, Kreitz, and Lundy in Ridings at 14. Neck and neck now. First 2 as they come to the flag, about a half an arm length away, and right behind them again, Kalmus. It'll be Claire Ridings, then Luna, then Lundry. Back the other way now, lengthening it out just slightly. Viv Kreitz. His Ridings continues to push forward in lane 4. Lane 2, Luna. And then 6, Lundy. Down to the wire now. First 3 swimmers touch the wall. They're coming back the other way. It's going to come right down to it, trying to beat times, and they're going to shatter their previous times. Kreitz and Schindler right to the wall. It's going to be Kreitz. She'll touch it 2:30.59 for that young lady. A 19-second drop. 2:31.10. 13 and a half second drop. 2:31.90. A 18 and a half second drop there as well. Next one in. $2:54.69. Looks like Ridings was a little on the soft touch there, so they didn't quite get her time. And then 3:05, a 5-second drop for Sophia Lundry. So that rounds out heat number 1. We go to our final heat of the morning session here. This one will have 6 swimmers. It'll be Assinger, Riza, Sylvester, Jenna Ridings in lane 4, Emmett Shank in lane 5, and Hoganson in lane 6. Ridings and Hoganson, 12 years old. Shank, Sylvester, and Riza at 13, and Assinger at 14. He's had a very good meet thus far. All of them quickly off the blocks. Underwater's nice. Now they get to the top of the water. What you really look for in this 200-yard freestyle, we should have mentioned this earlier, is good form. Technique means so much in this event. The ability to pace yourself means a lot as well. And then how to have that power left at the end to close it out. This is a strategy race, really. All these youngsters
good athletes as they continue to push for time and push the envelope to get there. Risa now, he's in lane number 2, followed closely by Assinger, then Ridings in 4, Shank in 5, Sylvester, and Hoganson. They'll touch the wall and head back towards the starting blocks for the halfway mark. Zidane Risa stretching it out just a little bit. That 13-year-old, he looks strong here so far in this one. Good form for him. Taking a couple of the strokes, turning the head each different way in rhythm as he pushes off the wall and goes back the other way. First one to the wall. Followed closely by Jenna Ridings, then Assinger on her heels. Lanes 2 and 5 are lanes 3 and 5 are Sylvester and Shank and Hoganson at a fast time as well. Good split at 1:13. All these youngsters well ahead of their time. But right now it's Zidane Risa. Prelim time of 2:18.81. He may beat that by almost a half a second. No, he's back to the wall, so he's got one more length of the pool to go. Well ahead of pace, though. Half a second will be a long time, but maybe 10 seconds. Half a minute would be a long time. 10 seconds would still be a long time as well. He touches the wall again, well ahead of pace. Trying to beat 2:18. Ridings now closing the gap slightly. She lengthens things out on Sylvester and Assinger at the top of the screen. We've got a battle for second place, though, as Assinger starts to close. Good time at 2:13.97 for Zidane Risa. Closely by Jenna Ridings at 2:17.92, right on her time. 2:18.60, couple of second drop there for Assinger. 2:19.82 for Shank, right on his time. 2:20, a little bit of a slower closeout for Sylvestra, and then 2:35.69 for Hoganson, a drop of 4 seconds for that young lady. So folks, that'll wind things up here for our first session here on Saturday morning. It's the 2020 Parkway IMX, and we've enjoyed bringing you all this great action now. We're going to pause for a couple of hours. Be sure to come back and join us. Round about 11:30 is our first dive into the pool. That'll kick off with the 11 and over 200-yard IM. We'll have 6 events. 200-yard IM, 100-yard freestyle, 100-yard back, 100 breast, 100 butterfly, and we'll wrap things up this morning with the 200 freestyle in that second session here on this Saturday morning. My name is Matt Judkins. I've enjoyed bringing this. We want to thank our producer and cameraman, Kevin Girth, for bringing you this great action, and all the folks here along the Parkway YouTube network. Until 11:30, so long for just a while.